Greetings from World University and School on Monday, January 5th, 2026, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And Happy New Year. And as we wait to see if people will join this open WUAS news and question and answer weekly business meeting, emerging or growing from best STEAM Creative Commons licensed open courseware, and which is also Wiki, planning 200 online major universities in all 200 countries, main and official languages, and possibly in all 7,159 known living languages, and Wiki schools as well for people-to-people teaching and learning, free universal education at World University and School. I'd like to share a little news with you. Greetings. Best STEAM CC licensed open courseware, Wiki, grow with Google WUAS. World University and School's unprogrammed, Quaker-informed weekly business meeting continues to be what guides World University and School. And further, could these WUAS agenda and news even be loosely coming into conversation with the Pibroch, classical Scottish bagpipe music form? Perhaps. In looking to 2026, here are some of the questions I and WUAS, again in a Grow with Google WUAS program, hashtag Grow with Google WUAS on LinkedIn and Twitter X. Here are some of the questions I and WUAS asked during the Google for Education H1 2026 K through 12 roadmap session on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, having also attended this a second time on Thursday, December 11th, 2025. How best can MIT OpenCourseWare or Wiki World University and School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, at World Univ and SCH on Twitter, in a Grow with Google WUS program, join or interoperate with the Google for Education Roadmap project, please. Thanks, Scott G.K. McLeod. And a blog post about this beginning to Medicine Lake in World University and School's blogpost.com. And second, expanded. How best can World University and School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages and Yale Open Yale courses, in a Grow with Google WUS program, join the Google for Education Roadmap project, and in developing even IB high school or similar diplomas, e.g. for 16 to 19-year-olds in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages, as well as for WUAS to develop 200 major online research universities in all 200 countries. And here's the nation states wiki subject page from which these major universities will become accessible. Each a major world-class online WUS university with Gemini AI, and in all 7,159 living languages. And regarding a WUAS universal translator, and for free to students online from home, bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school, similar, AAAS, and master's WUAS degrees, and potentially in a realistic virtual earth for STEM field sites, science, technology, engineering, mathematics field sites, and a realistic virtual earth for classrooms. And please see Peter Norvig's incredible #TulifyAIWUAS article, quote, revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI. #World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024, at the Tulify AI URL. And see also these related World University in School Twitter X feeds. And regarding Gemini AI 2, what does intelligent mean in real-time intelligent systems? Gemini AI response is fascinating. In real-time intelligent systems, intelligent refers to ability of system to perceive, process, reason, and learn. And check out these Twitter posts. Thanks, Scott G.K. McLeod, founder, president, CEO, and professor of Best STEM CC licensed OCW Wiki World University and School, WUS. USPS, United States Postal Service, U.S. Post Office, General Delivery, Canyon, California, 94516. So these are the questions I asked the Google Roadmap project, the Google for Education H1 2026 K through 12 Roadmap project with 2 online presentation sessions on December 9th and December 11th, 2025. Further, thanks to a set of Twitter posts in these regards, thanks to #EduOnAir, how best can STEAM CC licensed #OCW centric wiki at World Univ and SCH in a #Grow with Google WUS program join or interoperate with the #Google for Education Roadmap project? Please, thanks. #Prof. Scott G.K. McLeod and related blog posts. And retweeting a Twitter post from Google for Education, which says, we're going back to the basics for the end of the year. IT admins, tune into our #EduOnAir, EduOnAir on Twitter session to see the #Gemini Edu in action. Join the session for a live demo to learn best practices for setup, how to create custom gems. And since WUS Weekly Business Meeting is informed by unprogrammed friends, non-theist friends, NTF, NDQ Quakers monthly business meeting process, and is seeking further to develop a nominating committee, Roland Vogel, could I invite you to become the presiding clerk of the WUS Weekly Business Meeting Nominating Committee as director of Stanford Law Codex, potentially in collaboration with Stanford Law Codex membership. And for the nominating committee, potentially to develop both WUAS wings, or possibly mainly the WS Corporation wing further with possible hires even. Further, recently, for about a day, these 2 following main email addresses for WUS became inaccessible on my laptop computer, while I could access them on my smartphone. president@worlduniversityandschool.org, WUAS_CEO at worlduniversityandschool.org. And I wonder whether the potential WUS nominating committee could please seek out a WUS CEO for the WUS Corporation regarding the academic press at WUS and the WUS educational services stores for books, computers, robotics, groceries, hospital technologies, possibly also even presidents for all 200 countries, online WUS universities, in those countries' main languages. Here again are the best STEAM Creative Commons licensed OpenCourseWare wiki, hashtag grow with Google WUS, World University and School, WS Weekly Business Meeting, WS News and Question and Answer, agenda and news for both Monday, 12/15/2025. So I sent this out before the December 15th WS Monthly Business Meeting. And then for also today, the Monday, January 5th, 2026, to season for a week, for a spell, and to invite feedback and your thinking in a variety of ways. And how further can WUS best develop the one nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt legal entity wing, and see the website URL, the beginning website, worlduniversityandschool.org, and two, the for-profit general stock company legal entity in California wing. And that website URL is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. Still sharing the same root domain. And with Peter Norvig's guidance too, how best to code for both wings' AI platforms. Build them out in each of all 200 countries and in all 7,159 living languages, and potentially in WS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from here, you at World University. And regarding both WUS existing 2 bank accounts, how best to, 1, develop the 501c3 World and School main wing GuideStar profile, the candid GuideStar profile, guidestar.org/profile/27-3105368 on the hashtag candid GuideStar platform. And 2, possibly even multi-list the WUS corporation on many stock exchanges in many countries, but starting with one stock exchange, the NASDAQ, ? And then the Silicon Valley Long-Term Stock Exchange, ? One board or 2 boards. And in seeking to use AI in the boardrooms, perhaps WUS nominating committee with Stanford Law Codex could help identify and possibly nominate also some WUS board members. So greetings further from free, best, STEAM, CC, OpenCourseWare, Wiki, hashtag grow with Google WUS, World Univ and School. World University and School, like Wikipedia, in approximately 342 languages, seeking to grow to 7,159 living languages as wiki schools and large language models potentially too, and building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, continues to grow and develop. And regarding previous versions of OpenCourseWare, such as the following URL, opencw.aprende.org/courses/translated-courses. And this URL too, opencw.aprende.org/courses, which lists about 38 majors that have, or departments that have merged out of MIT OpenCourseWare courses. And via Wiki, World University and School WS News and Question and Answer, which meets on Mondays and is open at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, USA and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 10:30 p.m. India time, 1 a.m. Tuesday, the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converter from any of your 24 time zones to join this open WUS weekly business meeting with Zoom URL in the open WS weekly business meeting agenda and news emailings and in the following blog posts. So the blog post for today's WUS news and question and answer, WUS weekly business meeting begins with Brook Range, Alaska, and was posted in both blogs in December of 2025, around the 15th of December. The World University and School.blogspot.com blogspot and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com blog. Brooks Range, Alaska. Further, are these WUS weekly business meetings an innovative kind of unprogrammed friends, NTF, NTQ, Quaker monthly business meeting? Perhaps. And how might hashtag Candid GuideStar, affiliated with the IRS, code its platform for 501c3 federal tax exempt World University and Schools profile in GuideStar 27-3105368. Further, keeping in mind the WUS Corporation Wing as a for-profit general stock company in the state of California, which URL again is the worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. With its state of California tax ID at the bottom of that page of World University and School /academicpress.html. And again, Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO. How best to build out further a hashtag realistic virtual Earth, hashtag for everything, and a hashtag realistic virtual Harbin, hot springs, and out of Google Street View with Time Slider, and especially for also aging reversal extreme longevity genetic drug therapies initially and concurrently. All the best abolitionally, a best STEM Creative Commons licensed open courseware wiki at World Univ and SCH. Hashtag WUS abolition movement is growing to protect people. And see the blog post from July of 2025 in beginning Lotus, Kamala Padma in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/07/Lotus-Kamala-Padma.html. And in WUS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet and to end poverty worldwide. Friendly NTF, NTQ, Quaker greetings, Scott GK McCloud. And the recording for today, January 5th, 2026, will be posted to youtube.com/@Scott McCloud World University /videos. So moving on to the first wing, the World University and School wing, the first of two WUS wings, a 501c3 or similar nonprofit, and the GuideStar URL profile is 27-3105368. CC licensed, best STEAM open courseware wiki, World University and School wing. And the beginning webpage for that again is worlduniversityandschool.org. Agenda item 0 begins with 2 Medicine Lake and the recording of the 12/8/2025 WS News and Question and Answer in the Sawtooth Wilderness range. Check it out. That's it. The blog posts on both blogs begin with Sawtooth Wilderness, Idaho. Further, agenda item 1, Google for Education H1 2026 K through 12 roadmap and WUAS coming into conversation with this regarding a World University and School roadmap in the Grow with Google WUAS program. And since WUS seeks to offer IB high school or similar for potentially 16 to 19-year-olds, a set of Twitter posts about this. Thanks for hashtag EduOnAir. How best can STEAM CC licensed hashtag OCW centric wiki at World, Univ, and SCH in a hashtag Grow with Google WUS program. Join or interoperate with the hashtag Google for Education Roadmap project, please. Thanks, hashtag Prof. Scott GK McLeod. Agenda item 3. As a kind of yoga even, hashtag a kind of yoga, how Demi Hasibas, at Demis Hasibas, who is at Google in the British Isles and also who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2024, I think for partly Google DeepMind and AlphaFold 3 server and related projects, AI and machine learning projects. How hashtag as a hashtag a kind of yoga, how at Demis Hasibas to add experimentally hashtag the I1F protein, a gene, with the eRapid sensor to a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for molecules. And think hashtag AlphaFold 3 server and a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for genes in one iterating realistic virtual Earth. And I asked Gemini AI this, and also regarding the eRapid multiplexed electrochemical sensors for fast, accurate, portable diagnostics. How I might connect the IF1 protein. And Gemini AI incredibly responded, yes, you can likely connect the IF1 protein, which may be associated with controlling aging in the mitochondrial complex of cells. Yes, you can likely connect the IF1 protein with the eRapid platform because eRapid detects various biomarkers, including proteins, by embedding specific probes like antibodies that bind to targets, generating a signal. IF1 is a protein, and researchers have already developed methods to detect IF1 using antibodies, making it a feasible target for this. And see also the multiplexed electrochemical sensing technology out of Harvard's WIS Institute. How it works: target binding. The eRapid sensor surface has an anti-fouling coating with embedded probes like antibodies specific to IF1 protein that capture the IF1 protein from a sample, blood, saliva. Signal generation. A secondary probe binds to the IF1 probe complex, triggering a chemical reaction that creates an electroactive precipitate. Detection. This precipitate produces an electrical signal proportional to the amount of IF1 present, all on a multiplexed chip for multiple targets. Key points for IF1. Protein target. IF1 is a protein which fits the platform's capabilities. Antibody availability. Antibodies against IF1 exist and can be used as probes. Multiplexing. You could design an eRapid sensor to detect IF1 alongside other sepsis or disease biomarkers simultaneously. In essence, if you have a specific antibody for IF1, you can integrate it into the eRapid system for fast portable diagnostics, just like we've done for other proteins and biomarkers. And further, a set of Twitter posts, LinkedIn too potentially, as hashtag a kind of yoga, how Demis Hasibas to join or align hashtag yoga, WUAS, hashtag eRapidSensor, and the wis.harvard.edu /technology /erapid multiplex electrochemical sensors -4 fast accurate portable diagnostics with hashtag IF1 protein controls aging rate, which this protein is related, is an expression of a gene, I think. And a George Church Twitter post about the IF1 protein. How, as a kind of yoga, to join or align the eRapid sensor to our hashtag avatar agent electronic health records. And regarding Pegman, becoming our avatar agent electronic health records, coding wise, AI and machine learning wise, in hashtag G Street View, hashtag G Cell View, with hashtag G Time Sliders, to hashtag reverse aging. And this retweets a coder who I think is in Korea, Jae Jin, who responded to both Demis Hassabis and Quaker Yoga Macflower, one of my Twitter feeds at Q_Yoga Macflower and at Demis Hassabis. So Jae Jin says, oh, wow, molecular health visualization in Street View. That's absolutely wild. Imagine zooming from your neighborhood straight into your DNA. This AI plus biotech combo is exactly where breakthroughs happen. Hashtag health tech. And Jaejin's Twitter feed is Jaejin_JJ. So expanded further as a kind of yoga, how Demis Hassabis to join or align yoga WUS, the eRapid sensor with the IF1 protein controls aging rate as a gene, expression of a gene, to a realistic virtual earth for molecules, to our avatar agent electronic health records regarding Pegman at the hashtag G molecule level in hashtag G Street View, G Time Sliders, to hashtag reverse aging for hashtag extreme longevity. Agenda item 4. Further, as a hashtag a kind of yoga too, at Wiki World University, at Wiki at World Univ and SCH, here are out of the box thinking, hashtag eliciting loving bliss ideas. Loving bliss eliciting this neurophysiology is a wiki subject at World University and School and a WUS school. Check it out, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org /wiki/loving_bliss_eliciting this neurophysiology. And wiki teach there if inspired or inclined, and accessible from World University and School's main wiki subjects page. See also a web page that I created some years ago at scottmccloud.com /guidelines practicing loving bliss vis-a-vis musical instrument, and scottmccloud.com loving bliss practices.htm. And regarding also studying bliss in Peter at a virtual Harbin Hot Springs too, ? Which Peter Norvig in his incredible Toolify AI WUS article, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University and School, talks about studying bliss at a virtual Harbin. Fantastic. And see more about this further in the blog post beginning Passiflora actinia in my blog from December of 2025. Agenda item 5. Possible partnership between Intuitive Surgical, maker of the Da Vinci surgical system, the robot surgeon and WUAS, question mark. Possibly even in the Marathi language in India, in a possible partnership and with a hashtag realistic virtual earth for surgery, especially, but in other ways too. Glad to have met Devika Kulkarni, a test engineer at Intuitive Surgical, and which makes the Da Vinci robotic surgical systems, on Sunday, December 14th, 2025, in Marin, at high up on at a John Muir Beach overlook. And she's from India. I think the possible founder or CEO of Intuitive Surgical may also be from India, possibly. So could we further in such a exploratory brainstorming partnership develop humanoid robot MD professors of surgery in the Marathi language, in the back of large teaching hospital buses for all 83 million speakers in India, in Maharashtra, so Marathi speakers, and all 99 million speakers worldwide, and to teach Marathi language speaking students medicine with time, and with a realistic virtual earth for medicine, not only for surgery, a realistic virtual earth for all 24 MD subspecialties by one count too, and especially surgery. Agenda item 5A, how to develop further, for example, ENT MDs, ear, nose, throat MDs, especially in at World Univ and SCH, hashtag WUS Med SCHS, and with e.g. hashtag Toyota humanoid robot, hashtag MD professors of surgery, and hashtag otology WUS relating to the ear, in a hashtag realistic virtual earth for ear, nose, throat, hashtag for surgery, in hashtag G Street View, with hashtag G Time Slider, hashtag G Cell View, hashtag G Molecule View, with hashtag Avatar Agent Electronic Health Records, from Little Pegman in hashtag Google Street View. That's a set of Twitter posts and LinkedIn posts. And you can read more about this in the blog post beginning Absaroka, Beartooth, Wilderness, Montana, Wyoming, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, from December of 2025, Absaroka, Beartooth, Wilderness. Agenda item 5B. WUAS has brainstormed much about the humanoid robot MD professor of surgery, and with a hashtag realistic virtual earth for surgery, especially, and see the surgery label, for example, in World University and School.blogspot.com blog. Agenda item 6. Might it be possible for World University and School to come into communication and reach out to the Stanford Law Rock Center regarding Directors College for WUAS directors? Question mark. Agenda item 7. HGSE, Harvard Graduate School of Education, HGSE, Harvard Graduate School of Education. Invitation email came into my email box a couple of weeks ago. And it was an interesting approach to seeking applications, because it asked for prospective students to possibly in their initial communication with HGSE to introduce yourself to HGSE. Might this be a way that World University and School could develop our application process in the future? Might our graduates be able to, say, our bachelor degree graduates be able to apply to Harvard Graduate School of Education for further training as teachers? Stay tuned. Agenda item 8, Physics Nobel. 2025 Nobel Physics lectures, Nobel Prize lectures in physics go to John Clark, Michel H. Devereux, and John M. Martinez. See an interesting video about this. And see also from circuits to chandeliers, hashtag quantum history, also from, I think it's Michel Devereux who created this video. And potentially these are videos that we can add to the quantum physics wiki subject page at World University and School. And there's probably already some MIT OpenCourseWare courses on it. And further, how to develop a hashtag realistic virtual Earth for quantum in one iterating realistic virtual Earth. So with the potential qubit unit informing this build out, this coding of a realistic virtual Earth for coding for quantum. See more about this in the blog post beginning broad-leaved drumsticks isopogon in my blog in November of 2025, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. Agenda item 9, and it's just beginning to rain here, and I think I'm going to bring my computer first undercover. Stay tuned. I'm in the town of Moraga, and I think we'll move inside in one way or another. I'm near the Moraga Public Library, not far from Canyon 94516, where I'm based. So agenda item 9, languages at WUAS and related emailings. How to begin to reach out to groups of people in these WS weekly business meetings who speak these languages, potentially all 200 countries' main and official languages, potentially all 7,159 known living languages. In these languages, and in growing these WUS universities, initially, one mailing list for all speakers of non-English languages, perhaps. Agenda item 10, might we live to 150 years old with hashtag FDA approved, hashtag aging reversal, and hashtag extreme longevity, hashtag gene drugs emerging? Might we live to 150-year-olds plus? How to lessen side effects. And I asked this of Google and found an interesting response. from Google in AI mode. This is a set of Twitter posts. Yoga, hashtag yoga meditation, hashtag yoga asana can help. How to hashtag stop drug side effects with a hashtag realistic virtual earth for pharma, and potentially interoperating with our avatar agent electronic health records. So a realistic virtual earth with AI and machine learning, TensorFlow AI, Gemini AI, and at the cell and molecule level too, at World, Univ, and SCH. Might we live to 150-year-olds plus with hashtag FDA approved, hashtag aging reversal, and hashtag extreme longevity, hashtag gene drugs emerging? How to lessen side effects? Yoga, hashtag yoga meditation, hashtag yoga asana can help. How to stop hashtag drug side effects? With a hashtag realistic virtual earth for pharma at World, Univ, and SCH. Can we go further with possibly even stopping side effects from pharmaceuticals? I think all pharmaceuticals, FDA approved, for example, have side effects, and that the FDA balances benefits with side effects. Also, another word for which might be risks in the clinical trial process, which often can average 10 or 11 years for any given pharmaceutical. Might we, with a realistic virtual earth for pharma, be able to end side effects? And for example, with AlphaFold 3 server that can predict all known molecular compounds, apparently. So I asked Gemini this too. How could a realistic virtual earth for molecules help lessen or eliminate side effects in all pharmaceutical drugs in brand new ways? And Gemini AI replied, a realistic virtual earth for molecules concept points toward advanced computational simulations, such as high fidelity molecular dynamics MD simulations, machine learning, and virtual reality, VR visualizations to model the complex environments in where drugs operate. These approaches can lessen or eliminate side effects in brand new ways by providing unprecedented insight into the full dynamic behavior of drug molecules, moving beyond static, simplified models. Advanced insight into drug behavior is one main section of Gemini AI's response. Modeling true dynamic, predicting off-target binding is a subsection. Modeling true dynamic interaction is another subsection. Molecular dynamics MD simulations, another subsection. Integrating ADMET properties, absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and toxicity, ADMET properties. Another subsection, virtual toxicity and safety panels. Another main section, accelerating and de-risking discovery. Virtual screening is a subsection. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Mimulus in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from December of 2025. Agenda item 11, restorative yoga class on Saturdays, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond, and in a conversation about aging reversal and extreme longevity genetics and yoga too, online in Zoom at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time in the future. Please let me know at WUAS, if you might be interested. So I'm seeking to facilitate this further in a Zoom video conference. And over the holidays in December, I made a first exploratory 15-minute restorative yoga teaching class in Zoom and posted it to the main YouTube channel for World University and School, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University. And also on December 27th, 2025, I made a second exploratory restorative yoga class with potentially also the conversation regarding living possibly to 150 and well beyond. Read about this restorative yoga class on Saturdays in the blog post beginning Absaroka, Beartooth Wilderness, Montana, Wyoming, in my blog, scott-mcleod.blogspot.com, 12/20/25. So moving to the other wing, the WS Corporation, the second of two WUS wings, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California. The WS Press, academic press, planned in 7,159 known living languages with machine learning and machine translation. Also the WS Educational Services Stores, physical, digital, potentially in all 200 countries, and potentially in all 7,159 known living languages too, as well as potentially also Stanford MindPi partnering and in WS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, potentially also to end poverty and to facilitate free universal education further. Agenda item A, dear Sid, Pin, Ma, Jane, Peter Norvig, Elizabeth Warren, Anne Brown, DVM, and cousin in Northeast Oregon, and Ed Smythe, MD, and others. Byron in Moraga, near Canyon, 94516. Greetings. Thanks for helping to focus my writing, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University with Gemini AI editing yesterday in Berkeley, Claremont Library. Here's my view of what the internet is. What is the internet? Given its true history, the internet is not defined by its physical hardware, such as telephone lines or computers. Architecturally, it is essentially software, specifically the non-material protocols of information that govern its operation. The architecture is fundamentally organized to be open at two critical levels. Open protocols. The core routing system, defined by TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol, from 1973 to 1978, was made publicly accessible. And secondly, distributed computing. The network operates on the principle of distributive computing, meaning the power of processing and control is dispersed throughout the entire system rather than residing in any central point. The dual openness is central to the internet's resilience and capacity for growth. World University, as I continue to write this book, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University, I'm moving into characterizing World University and School as it develops newly with AI and machine learning, and potentially with a realistic virtual earth. For also libraries, potentially all libraries ever in all languages in a realistic virtual earth. Think Google Street View with time slide back to any library in any year and go in and even see the shelves if there are photos or paintings or other images of what books might be on the shelves, and pull a book even off the virtual shelf, and where you and I can also add resources to this realistic virtual earth for libraries. Similarly for museums, potentially visit all museums ever in all languages in Google Street View with Time Slider, and potentially add resources to it, wiki add resources to it with a new methodology, a social science theory. I'm calling ethno-wiki virtual world graphy. Ethnography is an interpretive practice, so we could add potentially books that might include our interpretation of any given library in any given time period, and similarly museum. Wiki means fast, and virtual world refers here to emerging realistic virtual Earth and similar. I also have in mind in creating this, in writing this next section, second half of my Society, Information Technology, and Global University book, in further creating a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs for ethnographic research. Hence the phrase and new theory and method, ethno-wiki virtual world graphy, where a realistic virtual Harbin will become a STEM field site and STEAM field site, potentially in a realistic virtual Earth as emerging STEM field sites to which scientists can all add and develop. Read more about this in the blog post beginning broadleaved drumstick isopogon from November of 2025 in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. And further, in writing Society, Information Technology and the Global University Part 2, there are, again, 12 main areas at World University and School, WUS. And both for free to students accrediting WUS online degrees and as wiki schools. Languages, planning all 7,159 known living languages, extinct ones as well, potentially as large language models, as also wiki schools. Countries, nation states, planning all 200 nation states per the Olympics. And I think Google Street View may be in about 220 territories, countries, nation states, regions as well, interestingly, in some of these regards. Third main section is you at World University and School, admissions, registering at WUS. Fourth main section is subjects, wiki subjects, academic subjects, and creative subjects, currently only so far in English, but planned in all 7,159 known living languages, where you, in your language, could add a wiki subject and proceed to develop it as a kind of school, possibly as great career experience, but also potentially by, on the academic subjects, checking to see if there is any MIT OpenCourseWare. Are there any MIT OpenCourseWare courses that you might add to possibly the academic subjects, for example, and in your language? Courses in schools, seeking to find and aggregate great, free, open, highest quality courses in schools, such as MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages, and with more than 2,500 courses in English, and Yale, Open Yale courses, but a whole myriad of other creative schools and courses that people have done and made and innovated with, that they might seek to add here also for sharing knowledge generation approaches. Music school at WUS, planning all instruments ever in all languages, potentially each musical instrument to begin a wiki subject page or a wiki school. Again, are there possibly any MIT OpenCourseWare courses as a start that one might add to each wiki subject page for each musical instrument? Further, how might we develop a World University and School Symphony Orchestra and out of the music school at WUS, and for real-time symphonic music making from home, and from all 200 countries of the world at the same time, playing together. Say 100 musicians playing together from home in 100 countries in a WS symphony orchestra, and potentially in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages too, if helpful. Library resources, planning potentially all libraries and their resources, their books, their library knowledge-based texts and similar to become accessible for matriculated students in potentially also a realistic virtual earth for libraries. Go into the Library of Congress in 1898, just after it was made in Washington, D.C., and pull a book off the shelf, for example. Or if you've gone into the Library of Congress and taken a picture of some shelves from 2026, add that to the realistic virtual earth for libraries, say in Google Street View with Time Slider, and let's let machine learning and AI find a PDF that might relate to the book or the text spine that one might see in the picture you took in the Library of Congress, and having added it to a realistic virtual earth for libraries. And similarly with museums, a realistic virtual earth for museums, think Google Street View with Time Slider and TensorFlow AI, and such that you or I could travel around the world and take pictures in museums and also add them to build out these museums as for objet d'art, for scientific objects, and for knowledge generation in brand new ways with AI and machine learning in a realistic virtual earth. Also, hardware resource possibilities, robotics as they emerge, innovative designs such as computers that smell. Hiroshi Ishii on Twitter just posted about at MIT Media Lab, I think a recent graduate who created a machine that smells, I think, smells odors. I think fascinating. Cyrus Clark may be his name. Could we add such hardware resource possibilities here? Yes, potentially. For knowledge sharing, for one. Educational software. That's emerging in incredible ways, and with, for example, Gemini AI, and with AI and machine learning in new ways, already has a long and interesting history, including with MIT OpenCourseWare and Yale Open Yale courses. How might we create more? How might you create new educational software coming into conversation with the educational software that's on this page already, or that will get posted to this page, and in your language? A foundation at WUS for developing a kind of institutional structure to help World University and School grow, and research, a main research wiki subject, still in its beginning phases, its infancy, where seeking to create a realistic virtual earth for research as well, but also to add scientific papers, for example, that might emerge from World University and School faculty, but from the plethora, amazing abundance of scientific papers that are and have been produced, say, over the past 100 years, but also to make new kinds of research possible in a realistic virtual earth for STEM research, in the physical digital conversation that emerges through the interplay, thanks to, say, biology and physics and chemistry and geology, and they're coming into a kind of conversation with computer science and programming. Potentially all from here at worlduniversityandschool.org. And check out further the blog post about this this upcoming book, Society, Information Technology in the Global University, of which these 12 sections are the main focus of World University and School, and they haven't been translated into any other of 200 countries' languages yet. Check out this blog post for further information about this in the World University and School.blogspot.com 2025 from November, beginning Sawtooth Wilderness, Idaho. And further, agenda item in the WS Corporation Wing, AA. I recently came into conversation further with my upcoming book, Society, Information Technology, and the Global University, with Gemini AI, and got some incredible conversational potential and possibilities. More about this in the blog post for this WS News and Question and Answer, which begins with the Brook Range and is posted in December of 2025. Further, agenda item B, a WUS CEO, how to find one, and regarding the above. And for the WS Educational Services Stores and the academic press at WUAS, planned in 7,159 living languages. And regarding Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency at mindpi.com/SGKMAC, potentially coding for most of all 7.9 billion people on the planet from nation states wiki subject page, and to end poverty, as well as facilitate highest quality free universal education. And the current beginning webpage for this is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. So that's the news and question and answer for World University and School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages and in Wikidata, Wikibase, since 2013 or 2015, backend structured knowledge database of Wikipedia in about 342 languages, seeking to grow into 7,159 known living languages on both wings. I'll post the video recording of this to the main YouTube channel for World University and School presently, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and also to the main Twitter feeds, Twitter X feeds, and LinkedIn feeds, Twitter X, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, and twitter.com/WUAS Press, and also to the blog posts for today, which begin with Laramie Mountains, Wyoming, and also for when this news and agenda was posted in December, around December 15th, I think, beginning Brooks Range, Alaska. So until next week, the 12th, which agenda and news is already posted in today's blog post, beginning Laramie Mountains, Wyoming, on both blogs. Looking forward to an unfolding conversation online in cyberspace, via social media further. And as the agenda and news for next week seasons, in this World University and School weekly business meeting. Until then, bye for now. Have a great week, and thanks.